But yeah, you have got a Batman poster behind. You've got the Batman.
Yeah.
You've got Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
You don't like this one?
I found it interesting to watch. I feel like they definitely leaned into the gothy kind of side.
Oh, his emo, him.
Like the emo side. Because when I went in to watch, because I actually watched the screening of it, and I went in saying to my friends that I was with, shout out, I think I was with Geeky Cassie, Mr. Midas, Ebonics. These
Shout out Midas, blood.
Great content creators and artists and such. And I was saying to them, please don't make him have the eye makeup smudged. Don't do the emo black.
He had that most of
that
the film.
kind of makeup, yeah, that kind of,
He took his mask, cut my life into pieces.
Yeah. And he done this. I said, don't make him do the stare into the camera. And he just done like the weird kind of creepy stare. I was like, oh, for flip's sake. But other bits were entertaining as well. It was well written. It was good. Like they set stuff up quite nicely for other films. Not my favorite Batman.
Definitely not.
But everyone has their favorite Batman, you know. And
Dark Knight.
Is that your favorite Batman?
With Heath Ledger.
I think I'm Michael Keaton, you know. For
you're showing your age, man.
Because I am. Yeah, because it was Tim Burton was really well shot, and also has Jack Nicholson, and he's my favorite Joker as well. And I know that rubs people up a wrong way. For me, it's like him, then it's Hamilton.
Heath. No, Hamilton.
Yeah.
You put
Mark Hamill.
You put Mark Hamill, not Hamill.
Sorry, Mark Hamill.
You put Hamill over Heath.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it in a violent way. I think people say, when I say it, they think it's like an act of war.
All right, so I put Ledger, Hamill, Nicholson, but they're so close.
Yeah.
And then in terms of Jokers, right?
Yeah.
And we don't acknowledge Leto.
Nah.
There we go. That's how I feel.
So what?
Leto was a Joker.
I tried to come through some fucking
Instagram. Nah, I'm not on it.
Instagram model. Joke.
I'm not on Leto's Joker.
Nah, man.
The only thing that Leto's Joker I did like was the laugh. Other than that, don't like it.
I think Mark Hamill had a better laugh though.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's laugh is. I think he played such a good, funny, punchliney Joker for the games and for the cartoon.
Yeah.
He obviously never played a live action one, but how iconic his cartoon Joker is, you can't take that away from him. Yeah. But for me, no one encapsulated, for me, the real dread of what Joker could be other than Ledger. Ledger, for me, made you believe this guy had absolutely no reason to do anything he was doing, but was able to do it and put the fear in everybody around him. Like, I don't think Nicholson could. Nicholson was like,
I get it. No, I get it, and I hear that, and I think, oh man, no, it's gonna have a few people reeling. But I think part of Heath's legend is his wasted potential. Like, and I feel like as a human race, we love potential more than realization.
Because he passed.
Tupac, Biggie, Hendrix, Winehouse, him, and so there's a bit of that, Look, let me land this quick.
Go on.
But for me, the reason that Nicholson beats it for me is because if you watch the film, you see the pain and the blood. So you see like a plastic surgeon, like, I'm trying my best to put you back together. Yeah. It is hammy in places, and it is kind of got like the.
But it needs to be with a Burton.
Yeah, the acts,
Joker.
The acts of violence that he does. Like, I get the pencil scene with Heath Ledger was scary, but I kind of saw that coming.
The pencil scene was insane.
That was mad, but the things Jack Nicholson does, like, you know, you're my number one guy. Yeah. If you watched it, like, I'm not gonna spoil it. Watch it at Christmas.
Spoiling 1989's Batman.
You're my number one guy.
If you spoil it and someone's missed it, that's on them. That's their fault.
I mean, there's the gassing of people that he does. Yeah. There's the chemical warfare that he does. Like, people, he infiltrates you in a way that isn't obvious. You can't get away from what he's done until after it's done. Okay. Kind of like someone in Saw who wakes up and they're like, you have 20 minutes to live. You have 20 minutes to live, and that's it. So he done stuff like that was absolutely horrible. Yeah, man. Absolutely horrible. Yeah. And he was... Exactly, man. And he was...
You don't know me, but I know you.
Exactly. There we go, man.
I want to play a game.
That's scary, bro.
You have 2 minutes to cross over from the podcast room over to the engineer side.
Oh, shit.
If you don't pick up anything off the floor with your socks, you could survive.
Man.
The only thing is, everything on the floor is magnetic with your feet. Like,
wow. Yeah. So your Optimus Prime is also...
I can do loads of great voices. Come on.
It's also... Yeah, but anyway,
go on. Well, I'll do some more after, but go on.
I was just saying, like, the way he was like... he was a bit of a sexual menace as well.
Oh,
he was
Jack Nicholson as well.
Yeah, like, so there was all of these elements of sinister scariness, and obviously it's an older version of film. My generation, I was very young, and I found Jack Nicholson scary anyway from the whole Shining stuff, like, which I obviously shouldn't be watching. So I'm seeing this guy, and for me, that's why he pips it. And then Mark Hamill next is just obviously iconic. And then, like, it's funny when I say this to people, a lot of people just think I'm trying to start like war in it, but I'm not. Like, that's just my genuine opinion. And I like talking to someone like yourself because obviously I know you have a different opinion, but you back it up with some facts.
I'm not just a guy who I'm not like a new DC fan. I'm not someone who's just picked up on what's going on and go, oh, well, here's my opinion. There, it comes from a place.
But that's where I'm at. So I don't know. Does it not make any sense, or does it make sense?
I get it from your sense, but equally to what you said with Heath Ledger, being he passed away, I think part of Jack Nicholson's appeal to you is who he was before the movie. You said The Shining. So you can see his unhingedness in The Shining and also in The Joker, and it amps it up. For me, the thing that I love about Ledger's performance as Joker is everything you described with Jack Nicholson. Strip all of that away, and you've literally got this one character who he's got one goal that is so erratic but so defined. He's not like got the element of sexual threat that Nicholson had. He hasn't got the backstory that Nicholson had. You have an entity that no one can understand why he's doing what he's doing. No one can see what's going on. He is see what's going on with him. He literally has a goal which adapts as time goes along, but he is so in control of every element. Prime example, when he wanted to get captured after being arrested, right? He wanted to get put into the police department, in the police cells. He wanted to break out Lyle. Then afterwards, he had Lyle. He returned the money back to them. It all looked like an erratic plan that he was made to seem to be in control of. Then he tells everybody, I want to know who Batman is. Then he goes, you know, that's boring. I don't want to know who Batman is. He's controlling everybody. And the bit that gets me the most is when he's doing that interrogation scene with Christian Bale's Batman. And he's talking to him and he's getting him. It's actual. I mean, we both know what channel we've worked for before. So we know all of the insides and outs of things where you go, things you didn't know about movies, right? He was really saying to him, beat me up in this scene and I'll still act my way through this. So when he smashed the glass on the side, that was really Heath Ledger's head smashing the glass on the side. And he's still acting through it. When he gets punched in the face, it's still Heath Ledger getting punched in the face. And he's going through all of his roles. Then that bit when he says to him, when you want to save one of them, and he tells them, like, you've got a choice. You could save this one or that one. And then he tells them the wrong way round. So he goes to save one, thinking Batman's going to go save Harvey Dent, but he thinks he's going to go and save, I can't remember the girl's name, but her. And just the control he's got over everybody and how believable it is that you could deliver all of that. I think it's not just down to Ledger. Ledger's Joker's amazing, but the storyline was so perfect for him. Nolan directed every element of that, which made you look at him and go, this guy is phenomenal. For me, the only anticlimactic bit of Ledger's performance is how he was caught at the end and just caught hanging dangling, right? But the monologue even after that, when he goes, you just won't let me die, will you? That for me, he eats up every scene he's in. And I think with Nicholson, maybe because I'm watching it now as an older looking back, I feel that it's great. It's hammy.
It is. Oh, brother,
it's hammy.
It's tacky.
There
bro.
you go.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's hammy. I'm a bit desensitized now because I'm an adult in the world that we live in. We see stuff more often like that.
Post-Human Centipede, you have to see a lot to get you.
There you go.
Edgy. Yeah.
Like cool. The fact you said Human Centipede is.
Sorry.
There's so many other films.
2 Girls, 1 Cup. Sorry. What? Is that the wrong reference point?
Trying to not remember
One
that.
Man, One Jar. Do you know I've not watched any of those things, by the way? None of those things I've watched.
I've seen One Man, One Jar.
I've seen a frame of 2 Girls, 1 Cup and I refused. You know what? Actually, shout out to I can't say who you are because you won't like
shout out
it.
to Mark.
He's from South London. That's what I'm going to say. I bet him 20 quid he couldn't watch the whole thing whilst eating a McDonald's.
Did you win the 20?
He ate a fucking double cheeseburger, fries, and was sipping on the shake while watching 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I can't watch that.
Bro,
I'm weak.
If I've paid for food, there's nothing you're going to do that's going to put me off short of you contaminating the food in front of me. I don't get put off from visuals.
You're really good, man. Like, honestly, I saw a frame of it.
Yeah.
And I still remember where I was.
Yeah.
I was in a shop is what I'm going to say. I was in a shop. That's what I'm going to say. I can't even say because I'm going to start violating people. But I was in a place where I watched a frame of it and the guys, it was like that time when people were like, oh, look at this. Like, you know, that kind of look at it. I was like, no, yeah.
Oh, bro, I'll be seeing like, oh, yo, that's nasty, bruv.
Are you... Really?
I can eat straight after. Because I know it's behind the screen. Yeah. None of that poo has contaminated my stuff. So I'm fine.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I've got a weak mind for that kind of stuff, bro. Yeah,
wild.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway,
cool.
Yeah. But listen, I might watch them at Christmas again. You know.
Don't watch them at Christmas.
No, That's it. Start with his Hennessy. I said that with a nice big Hennessy. Oh, do you know what? And because it's a family time of year as well, and invite mum and dad round. Yeah, get the youngsters, put a little youngster on my knees. Yeah, you know what? When I was your age, I watched something just like this and look at the man that I've become.
Hey, yo. Sorry, you meant Batman.
We'll watch the Centipede trilogy. You know,
is there a trilogy?
I think there's a couple.
Bro.
A couple. And I think I got quite angry at the time that the guy that created it was talking about the artistic value of it. But I suppose now, in hindsight, there might be, but I'm just I'm never going to connect with it. To me, that is gross out.
That's like gore porn, where the most gross thing you can do and the most sickening thing you can do is what turns some of these guys on. It's like in comedy, you've got people that do comedy, they're edgelords. Yeah. It's not funny, but the most offensive thing they can say to them is, if I can get you to go, ooh, then I am a great comic. It's dead. Shut up. No one cares about your edgelord. Then be funny. And if you're going to do a film, gore porn is dead. No one cares about how gross you can be. What's the story?
I find it a little bit perverse because it's so real now.
Yeah. Like Saw and stuff.
You could be looking at it really happening. So, again, I know it's through a screen and I'm hypersensitive, right? But to me, if you're comfortable with watching that and actively enjoy that, are you meant to be in a coliseum hundreds of years ago going, or whatever, watching somebody actually get stabbed and sliced up? Because people are like, it's not real, Marcus. But I'm like, there's somebody on set that has seen inside a human body directing the special effects people to make sure that the liver is behind the guts so that when someone knifes it, it all spills out in the right direction and you watch it.
They say people, and I'm one of them, that like watching stuff like Law and Order. Do you see that post? They like watching Law and Order Special Victims Unit or like crime shows before they go to bed are like psychos.
You can do that?
Every night.
Does it comfort you?
Well, let me tell you something. I could do every episode. I can do this. In the criminal justice system, sexually based offences are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. The reason I know that is not because I study it, it's because after comedy shows, if I'm staying in a hotel, 5 USA, there's always like 4 or 5 episodes from like 10:30, 11 to about 1, 2 in the morning. Yeah. And I'm watching every single one. And I've already seen all of them.
So that's your routine. That's for you.
I buy the episodes. Wow. I love Law and Order, especially SVU. I love Law and Order. Wow. Olivia Benson and Elliot Stabler are my donnies. Do you understand? Wow. So when people are like, "You're mad if you watch that," I might be mad, but I could watch that episode after episode every night. When I'm in New York, I watch it back to back.
Really?
Because you know how we have like. Our streaming services, like Disney Plus and whatever. Hulu have them all listed up until the latest season, which is 24.
It's Hulu. I think Hulu's owned by Disney as well. You know,
it is, but Hulu have their own separate app over in the States. So over here they won't put Law and Order on Hulu. I think it's Hulu or Discovery Plus, one of the two that they have it on. But whichever one they have it on, it's there for you to watch. So when I'm out there, I watch them all from top to bottom. Ones I've already seen. I go through them. And because there's so many of them, I sometimes can forget, how did they win this one? Oh yeah, and I still enjoy it.
Surprise, surprise. I watch sci-fi stuff at night time.
Oh yeah.
Old sci-fi.
Was it, hold on. I need to know. Let me see if I can take credit for this. Was I one of the reasons you got into Star Trek?
You were you were one of the reasons I restudied Star Trek to the level that I did to do Trek culture with you.
I'm hearing yes.
But before that, I think the reason I started getting into Trek, because we spoke about it I spoke about it on a pod with you actually, with Shijay, but at the time I was rewatching everything. So like I have this thing now, because we have this access to everything, a lot of people will try and watch everything that's out now.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll find a show.
Go back and watch old stuff.
Yeah, so like for me, I always remember like I came from a one TV household. So sometimes I might only get to watch 10 minutes of a show, the beginning or end of it or whatever. Like, so for example, on BBC Two on Tuesday nights is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I might not get to watch the whole episode. So now I can, Netflix, you can go back and watch it. So I decided to do it with Star Trek. So I've watched all of the Star Treks from the first original one, the animated series, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, whatever, blah, 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 all the way up to now. And I think we met when I had just wrapped watching Voyager or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, man. One of the reasons why I've studied it and I love it, man. I love Star Trek. But I also love sci-fi across the board as well. So at night time, I watch a British sci-fi, one of the best comedy sci-fis ever, Red Dwarf.
Which one? Red Dwarf.
That with like Craig Charles, Danny
John Jules.
Weezy, and all that.
People thought I looked like him when I was younger because long shaped head. I don't see it. But now especially not. But when I was skinnier.
Aurie,
huh?
Please for Halloween, please dress up as a cat one year.
Nah.
Why please do it? I'll do how? Yeah. You do that. I can be Lister. Yeah.
No.
Trench can be freaking
Trudge.
Rimmer.
Trudge.
Yeah. Trudge can be
Rimmer.
Rimmer. There you go. As a character called Rimmer. You get me? And then we just need someone to be Crichton with a mashed up headpiece. But just old school sci-fi stuff. I love it, man. I think for me, maybe again, I might be a bit kumbayari. I think sometimes what I like about sci-fi and what I like about Star Trek and stuff is it's so beyond progressive in their future world that even the issues they deal with, they sometimes hark back to similar civil issues that we have as humans now. But it's just nice to look at a world where they have moved. I think in Star Trek especially, they've moved past racism, innit, bruv? It's nice to watch a show where you can imagine that actually being a human possibility. However, the racism now is interplanetary racism, innit?
So Klingons are like the black.
They're calling them, the black people, innit?
Yeah, you had
the aggressive, loud, uncouth black people,
Vulcans and Romulans. Ferengi, they tried to make it very similar to like Asian culture.
They did say, there were some people that have said that they didn't like the connections that Ferengi had to other cultures as well. I won't dig into it because I'm not as well versed in it, but there's other, like cultures that they dig into. And they have racism like
of
Cardassians.
Course.
Cardassians have a little like, it doesn't matter if you know, they have a little thing on their head. They used to call them spoonheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then when you watch it, you're like, okay.
You can see the racism in this. It'd be the Bajorans that would call them spoonheads and stuff because they were always fighting against them.
You'd see oppression, you'd see genocide, all these kind of current things that are really, really current topics of conversation now. Almost seem more simple to work out when you're looking at something that's 500 years in the future and different races that like one's a green looking lizard and one's like a wrinkly head black brother. Do you get me? So, and Trek's been doing it from day. So like from the first season of it, that 50-year-old season, you will have like the captain of the Starship Enterprise kissing Uhura, like a white man kissing a black woman. You wouldn't have seen that. That
was first interracial kiss on television, wasn't it?
I don't think it's the first. I think it's one of the first, but what's funny is apparently in that scene, they were asked to do a few takes where they just got close and didn't kiss. And apparently they deliberately fucked up those takes, like, whatever. So they had to use the kissing take.
Good.
So, yeah. And then there's even an episode which is it seems so on the head now, where there was like a race where half of the planet, the left side of them was white and the right side of them was black.
In the original series?
Yeah. The left side of them was black. And then they were like at war for ages. And then like, obviously the crew of the Starship Enterprise were like, oh, well, guys are basically the same, and they were like, no, we're not, we're totally different. And you're looking at it and there's being so bait with like what these stories
what they were trying to do. What about Orville? Take that in.
I've watched a bit of Orville. I get it's a big, people call it like the lost Star Trek season, innit? It's cool, but let me tell you something. I don't know why. Bring me in though.
Orville season 1 and 2, great, bit more comedy-esque. Season 3, I cried at the end of 2 episodes.
Really?
Let me tell you something. Orville, season 3, phenomenal.
Really?
Phenomenal.
I'm going to go back and watch that then.
The writing for the Orville, season 3, when they moved from, I think one of the companies that were backing it, They moved from that to another one, and the acting and the writing and the quality of the storylines, phenomenal. Really? I'll give you one basic storyline, which you'll understand as a Trekhead. Something happens where one of the people on the Orville he gets thrown back in time. When that happens, he isolates himself for you're supposed to keep no contact and so on, because there's a prime directive if you breach it in terms of interacting with cultures from pre-warp civilization. So he's gone back in time to what is effectively our time that we're in now. And he's been told he has to stay there. They tried to come and get him, but they overshoot their time of getting him by he's been in hiding for 6 months and he had to come out to get supplies and stuff. They overshoot their time for coming to get him. 10 years, maybe 9-10 years. He's now gone, he's got a family, he's integrated, he's got all of that, right? With a woman and 2 kids and so on. He's got a family, he works a great job. He was a pilot on the ship in Orville. He's now a pilot in their time. They come back and they find him. The dilemma is, if they've got to pull him out of the time to get him back because he's not supposed to be there, but he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's already done that. There's arguments, it's tense, it's all of that. Get towards the end of the episode, the solution that they have is, we're not going to pull you out of this time, but we're going to pull you out. Right, we're going to go back to, in 3 months of the 6 months you were stuck, we're going to go back there, pull you out of that. Which means that anything that happens after that, you eradicate the relationship, the kids, pull him out of that to take him back to the timeline in the future that they're supposed to be in. He's living in this time knowing that he's going to not exist anymore, because he that strand of his life. Yeah. Listen, I welled up because the acting. You know who it is? It's the pilot. The short one with the ginger hair, because you see Norville, who's the best friend of...
Oh, shit!
Bruv!
Oh!
So you can tell for me, because he's a joker in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
You can, when he's going down that line of seriousness, bruv, the acting in it. Did you see the episode with Bortus and his child?
I can't remember.
Bortus is they look like the Klingons, but their version of it, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
All their races apparently born as males, right? But they have a child who's a female, and they, basically what they do is they have to turn the child into a male, or else that child will get cast out. That's in the early episodes.
See these topics they're covering. So anyway, carry on.
Season 3,
yeah.
That child who's been turned into a male in this show, season 3, he's now early teens, but doesn't feel right within themselves.
See what I mean?
And now wants to revert back to their natural form where she was born as a female, rather than the he that they turned them into.
And we can watch that show and be like,
we know exactly the topics they're discussing. Yeah. But the way they do it, my heart was... I've never looked at Orville in first 2 seasons and thought, this is going to get me emotional. Watch season 1 and 2 again, then get to season 3. Their writing, phenomenal.
All right, I'll go and check it.
Phenomenal. Right. Respectfully,